Individuals who live with severe mental illness, such as schizophrenia, have a reduced life expectancy and a 2 to 3-fold increased risk of dying compared to the general population. In recent decades, this mortality gap associated with mental illness has only widened. One of the major contributors to this phenomenon is the fact that individuals with psychotic disorders exhibit significantly higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, and stroke due to a cluster of conditions collectively known as metabolic syndrome. This is a growing concern in the psychiatric community, as people with schizophrenia have twice the normal risk of dying from heart disease. What's more, patients with schizophrenia generally have poorer access and quality physical health care. In a quest to find the reason why this significantly elevated risk of heart disease exists, researchers have generally targeted antipsychotic medications, which are the typical treatment for individuals with psychotic disorders. One of the common side effects of these antipsychotic agents is weight gain, so this seems like a likely candidate. Other factors, such as late onset, ethnicity, long duration of the illness, and smoking, are also being considered. However, very few studies have been conducted to assess metabolic syndrome's prevalence according to the presence of certain symptomatic domains in schizophrenia. My thesis will examine the relationship between metabolic syndrome and the negative symptoms of schizophrenia. Negative symptoms are those which contribute to low function levels and debilitation in most patients with schizophrenia. They include things like problems with motivation, social interaction, affective experience and responsiveness, speech, and slowed movement. These symptoms often manifest themselves in a withdrawal from regular social and physical activity, and I believe that this withdrawal may be contributing to the high prevalence of metabolic syndrome. Essentially, I think that negative symptoms can cause someone to become a couch potato, if you will, which can result in an increased risk of heart disease. Current treatments for psychotic disorders are limited, and there is a growing need to target the non-traditional or negative symptoms of psychosis. Most current treatments target positive symptoms or hallucinations and delusions, but it is clear that we need to address negative symptoms as well. As there are no effective treatments for negative symptoms and metabolic syndrome is often undertreated, it is essential to develop a better understanding regarding the pathophysiology of these symptoms. Previous research has identified epigenetic interactions with the environment and methylation patterns relating to metabolic syndrome and schizophrenia. My thesis will build upon this understanding by exploring how methylation of certain sites may mediate a relationship between negative symptoms and metabolic syndrome and psychosis. Through my thesis, I hope to strengthen the field's current insight into the link between metabolic syndrome and cognitive symptoms, and emphasize the necessity of negative symptom research and treatment.